Hey man, it's your boy MMA Habits, and we're back at it again 2 days in a row. I hope I'm uploading this 2 days in a row. It might be the next day. I hope not. But today, or last night, might I say, huge announcements. Your boy is ready to go to bed. You bye, he'll go to sleep. But I seen a video from bedtime. I'm like, what? Because I don't keep my phone upstairs with me in my room while I'm going to bed. So I had to scroll the old Instagram and see all the fight announcements, and my God, was Dana White cooking. He was saving it all for us, right? But we have big fights. We have Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez for the vacant featherweight title. So Ilya has officially vacated. He's going to lightweight. By the sounds of the way Dana was talking, it's sounding like he's not getting a title shot immediately. He's getting a huge fight, then he's getting a title shot. So that's what I think. And then we got Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett in the co-main event. I think it's 5 rounds if I'm not mistaken. Then we got Jeff Neal and Carlos Prates announced earlier that day. And, well, I'll get into UFC 315, but let's first start off with 314. Now, huge fights, good fights, right? We got Volk and Lopez for the vacant featherweight title. Now this, I don't see it the same. I know it's a cliche of thing. Oh, Ilia Topuria, he knocked out 2 of the best fighters, Volkanovski and Max, in that division. And now they're gone. So it's kind of looked at as a little bit like, like, are you really the champion though? Because you just got knocked out by the rightful champion. But I like this. This is more of a competitive division at the top now since Ilya is gone, because if I'm honest, I don't see anyone beating him at 145. So now that I don't think that Ilya is, going back down there, this is interesting, because on one hand you got people saying, oh, Diego Lopez, he's going to have that same Brian Ortega performance against Volkanovski. He's going to do well, then he's going to get beat up. I don't know. I don't think Lopez is the same skill level as Volkanovski. He has quite good boxing, quite gritty, swing for the fences type of boxing. We saw in the Brian Ortega fight most recently that he's more able to control his gas tank and whatnot. But let's not forget, this kid, listen here, this kid was gassing out against Dan Ige, the biggest jobber gatekeeper of that division. He won, but it wasn't that impressive. And you got Volk on the other hand, who's proven again. It's kind of, he's in a weird spot now. People don't look at him. I don't look at him the same, and that's why we're sitting here debating this. If Volk was in his prime defending his belt, I wouldn't, I'd still be picking Volk. It's still a tough fight either way. Lopez has got the power. He's got the nice inside boxing with his uppercuts and whatnot. I don't know. I think Volk, if he can get past the first 2 rounds, he's gonna pick him apart. He's fat. I'm too fast for you. So he can be emoting on Diego Lopez. He's gonna have that y'all must have forgot performance. And I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I want to see this, because this featherweight, now that Max is gone, it's kind of interesting. And I think they overrate the division, if I'm honest. Most people overrate the 145. It's not as competitive as it used to be. There's not as much dynamic or like as skilled people as some other divisions, or it's not stacked as like middleweight, or it's kind of comparison to 155. It's very top heavy. And there's not too many surging contenders. Obviously, you got Evloev, but who gives a fuck about Evloev after that Aljo performance? And even in general, I don't like watching Evloev. He's kind of scrapes by things. So, yeah, I got my early predictions for this. I got Volk. I don't think he's going to finish him. I think he's just going to put a 5-round beating. I don't think Volk or Diego is going to get finished. I don't see him as the type of guy to get finished. I could just see him getting absolutely beat up, though. So it's my early predictions. I'll give more detailed from that, but those are my first thoughts. Now we got Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett in the co-main event. Paddy Pimblett. I think, logically, it's Paddy Pimblett, because obviously they both fight like retards. Patty's more measured. He's not the very technical whatsoever. He's not very pretty with the way he fights, but I think he's more hungry. I know Michael Chandler. He's doing all this training and stuff, this meathead training, but I don't see it. Like I don't see a way for him to win unless he knocks him out on the feet. I do see that though. Michael Chandler in the first round, if he comes out like he normally does, besides the Oliveira fight or the Oliveira 2 fight, he could get Patty out of there. Because Patty, he's not really super switched on the feet in the beginning. He kind of gets tagged up a bit. And yeah, if they get caught in a scramble, though, I think Patty is going to cinch him up because Chandler scrambles like a complete idiot. If I'm quite honest, he's not the smartest. You can kind of look at him and already assume that he's not the smartest. Neither is Patty, but in the fight, he's definitely more intelligent than Michael Chandler. So my early predictions for this is definitely, I think I got Patty. I don't know if he's going to win by submission, late round submission. I think I could see Michael Chandler being like, see you at the top, and then going off in the first round, and then all amounts to nothing. He gasses out. Does the Justin Gaethje third round, fourth round thing where he just pats his hands down and kind of gets tagged up, or he's going to get taken down. I see him gassing out because he's going to have that y'all must have forgot moment, but he's not going to have that. So next we got Jeff Neal and Carlos Prates. I think it's a hard matchup, but I think Jeff O'Neal might have it. He's got the way cleaner boxing. Carlos Prates, he does have good boxing, but I just don't. If you see some of his fights, like on the Contender Series, even Neil Magny. Yes, I mentioned Neil Magny. It wasn't looking good at the beginning of those fights. He's kind of getting pieced up a bit. He's springing around with those cobbly knees, kind of like Anderson Silva. But I don't know. Carlos could catch Jeff and put him away. Jeff is tough as hell though. I could see this going to a decision, but against the fence and clinching and up close, Jeff O'Neal has got that. Jeff O'Neal, he's gonna bully him around in the clinch a bit. He's gonna be ripping heavy shots. He's in the pocket when he believes in himself, just like with the RDA fight. I know RDA is the old man and whatnot, and he's 50 pounds lighter. But he did, he looks so good. His boxing looked nice, and Jeff's got some nice kicks as well. I don't know. It's an interesting fight. My initial prediction will be Jeff O'Neal, but I don't know. I maybe Carlos snipes him, or I don't see. Carlos isn't the type of guy to win over 3 rounds. You know what I mean? He's not very high output. You can beat him up a bit. You can kind of hold him up against the fence for a bit. And that in a 3-rounder with only that amount of time, I don't know. And I could see Carlos. He's kind of a quitter in some of his fights, especially on the regional scene. He kind of waves his hands. No. Fight will stop. You can search it up, look it up for yourself. But yeah, my early prediction for that is Jeff O'Neal potentially could beat Carlos. I might have to do it more in depth. Then I'm Dominic Reyes over there. Let's move on to 315. We got Belal Muhammad. This is the only one I'm going to talk about. I don't give a shit about Valentina Shevchenko, a man on Fiorot, anything like that. Yes, it's interesting, but we all wanted to see Valentina versus Weili, but that's gonna happen next decade because Weili, she just had a fight, so she has to prep. She has to go back to China and promote the government. Anyway, a little bit based right there. But we have Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Listen here, kid. He's gonna land the hooks. He's gonna beat up Belal and he's gonna finish him just like Rob Whittaker with the 1-2 head kick. It's kind of hard to predict this one as well. I keep saying it for the whole time because this is my initial reaction. I'm literally just breaking it down in my head right now as we speak. So Belal, he does have the pressure. He does have the wrestling. He kind of overwhelms you a bit. You can do that to JDM. You can, but JDM always has moments of ripping combinations. Landing a couple in if he lands a couple, like, you feel it. We saw in the Gilbert Burns fight, the Basil Hafez fight. Like, if he's teeing off on you, like, you feel it. Like, you're on wobbly legs. He's got stones in his hands. I really love his box. He's got nice hooks for the welterweight division. Maybe not the fastest. I think him and Bilal have kind of the same hand speed. Bilal has crisp-ish hands. Definitely not as crisp as Jack. If he tries to play the boxing game like he did against Leon, because you can do that against Leon. Leon, when you pressure him, his inside boxing is not very good. He kind of looked like in that Leon fight, Leon looked very like, I don't know, like very out of it. Like he was fighting in a dream. Like he's expecting to beat him, then he's like, oh shit, this guy is fucking me up, and he's throwing these jittery 1-2s. This is Leon throwing the jittery 1-2s, and yeah, doesn't react to pressure too well. Jack, he can adapt to pressure. Like we saw in the Gilbert Burns fight, he was kind of losing that, but people were like, oh, he was losing. I didn't think he was losing that bad. He was the one putting the damage on. Gilbert Burns wasn't really doing anything. He was just controlling him. I see Bilal taking him down and smudging him. But the question is, the moments on the feet, how much is Jack Della Maddalena going to capitalize? Now, it's a 5-rounder. We haven't seen Jack's 5-round cardio, but we do know this kid's got grit. This kid's got heart. We saw in the Gilbert Burns fight, he found a way to finish it and put a stamp on it and made sure he won, right? Not putting it up to the judges. I want to say Jack from initial reaction, but it's really hard to say. Both are very strong, physically strong. Jack kind of has that, he's able to threaten with shitty chokes and whatnot. I hope he does not do the same thing as he did in the Basil Hafez fight when he's facing a pressure grappler, but he's sort of like, he's a guerrero. Jack Della Maddalena is a guerrero. He finds a way on the feet. He finds a way to impose his will and get the win, usually. So I think Bilal, Jack's had this little long layoff. He's kind of recovered, but he might have a little bit of ring rust. But Bilal, on the other hand, he just had that fucked up ass toe injury, or I don't know what kind of infection, toe infection. But yeah, they send this to Canada, as Ramzan Kadyrov would say. Go to Canada. I don't know what kind of message they're putting out here, putting these guys on here. I'm sure there's nothing really to it. But yeah, my initial breakdown, I think Jack Della Maddalena is going to win. By what, though? It could be unanimous decision. I know it's cliche. It's out. My Jack Della in 4 rounds or 5 rounds, he's going to TKO him against the fence, body shot, and drop him. I don't see that. I do. It's a potential. That's the way he can win. But it could be decision. It could be like Bilal just gets absolutely obliterated the whole time. And let's not forget, I know Bilal's different now. He could be jittery in front of these boxing heavy style, because we saw in the Jeff O'Neal fight, he just got absolutely destroyed. Like, he just got shown to be a jitterbug on the feet and kind of got clipped and fucked up. I know it was a head kick that really messed him up, but he was getting teed off in the boxing. His boxing is a lot better than it was then, but now, I don't know. I think Jack might have this. This is my initial reaction, by the way. And we got Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales. And you might be wondering, like, wasn't Jack Della supposed to be fighting Leon Scott? At first, when I heard, I'm like, no, Jack Della, he pulled out. What the fuck, bro? But no, Leon, bruv, we got Sean Brady, bruv. Yeah, Sean Brady is gonna smudge him up against the fence. I don't see Leon winning that. He could do a headshot dead, but I don't see it. Like, after that last performance, us MMA fans are very fickle. Like, our opinions immediately shift as when a fight result happens, or it completely shifts. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy what happens, but yep, that's the video for today. Let me know what you guys think about my opinions on this. And yeah, like and subscribe. And then until next time.